know who Femi Adebayo is? I'm sure we've all, and I'm sure as producers and actors, we are really excited to gain insights as to the storytelling, the directing, the production of the film. This is a session I'm really looking forward to, and I know everyone is looking forward to it too. So I would hand over to our able moderator. I'm sure Sheito has actually been like people again. So for people that don't know her, I'm just going to take one paragraph so you know who she is. Sheito is known for her vibrant on-screen presence and deep cultural insights. And she has covered some of the world's most prestigious events, including the 2023 Oscars, the coronation of King Charles III and Queen Camilla, the 67th Grammy Awards, and the Met Gala. Please, let's give her a round of applause. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. She currently serves as the head of the entertainment and culture.
To make sure that this panel session, a blockbuster focus, making of a Nollywood blockbuster series, will be, in fact, very, very enlightening. Now, I am going to start by welcoming to the stage. The last time I had the pleasure of introducing this person, did so. I don't know if I want to try it again, but I think what really stuck with me, after Seven Doors came out, first off, just watching it, I thought it was fantastic. Choma did a fantastic job. Femi, of course, did the same. The culture, the story, everything was fantastic. But really and truly, what got to me was at the Africa Magic Viewers' Choice Awards, when he actually won the Best Actor, and he got on stage, and I remember him just going, ah! Ah, he was so excited, and you could just tell that the years of work had just, at that moment, it was almost like it was like an emotional release. So I'm very, very happy to welcome to the stage one of Nigeria's finest actors, a veteran, the best to ever do it, a blockbuster maker in Nollywood. Please put your hands together for Femi Adebayo. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's good to see you again. Good to see you. Now, I'm welcoming to the stage another fantastic actor. You know him now. He's one of those people that when you see, we talk about faces, right? There are some faces that I look out for. If I see one from concept to script.
And the aspect that got me interested most was what they go through in that sacred room called Ikpebi, that most of us do not know. And of course, they did not actually tell me what they saw, but their description was so scary. I said, really, one. And secondly, I'm a promoter of Yoruba culture. At the same time, I am very particular about, Nigerian cultures in general. So I felt, okay, if I'm going to do a story like this, then I want to touch another tribe in Nigeria. And that was why I thought about, okay, what if the Yoruba king marries an Igbo woman? And that's, from there, the thing keeps going, growing till we got to where we actually, give out the story.
Fantastic. I like that. And I love the fact that for someone who is promoting Yoruba culture, you actually stop for a second to think, there's another culture I can promote in this. So thank you so much for that. Thank you. Please put your hands together for Femi Adebayo one more time. So I want to come to you, Gabriel. I want to talk to you about character depth. Okay. Your roles often have such a deep emotional and psychological intensity.
Right.
How did you approach your character in Seven Doors to make it that it resonated deeply with viewers? And I'm not even just saying viewers, like it resonated very deeply with me.
Right.
So what are you doing? Give us some of that secret sauce. Just not everything, no, just small.
Right. Okay, thank you very much for having me here. The first thing is the appreciation of the story. You as an actor, forget about the character you're playing or you're being chosen to handle. What is the strength of this story? How does it affect you personally? And From there, it can resonate with any other person. The cross-cultural component of Seven Doors gave it away for me. It's like a marriage before a marriage, you understand, that kind of thing, when you see that, oh, this is a landmark where we're trying to piece two tribes together, to promote unity. I fell for that. And aside that, again, it's coming from my very big brother here again, He's a superb storyteller. He can write. His idea of stories, sometimes it's unimaginable, and you be like, okay, where is he going to get all this insight from, So that in itself, gave birth to my own personal inspiration in handling that character. The story was so good, and I say this all the time, you can't have a blockbuster without multi-layered plot. If you look at Seven Doors, basically, you can pull out like 5 different stories. Like if
that's a series from
that's
Seven
exactly
Doors.
we can go different directions with it, with spin-off and all of that. So that was a wholesome for me, and I feel like, okay, you know what, if you're coming to be a part of this, it's like a team of 11. No matter, even if you're playing back, like you're playing 5, 2, 3 or whatever and all that, or 6 or 4, you're also going to get the same accolade the number 9 will get. Absolutely. Even if it's the one that scores all the goals. You are a team player. You are an arm to a structure. So if you don't understand your position, then you won't be able to function in that Voltron, So I fell in love with the story, like I said. So it now took me to my own personal research of the basic tradition of the Okpa, people and all that. So yeah, it took a while, but like I said, no matter what role you're being given as an actor, there still has to be a personality of yours that will have to come to play, because it needs to resonate with you. If you're not feeling it, you can't deliver it. Even if you love it, that's the thing. Loving stuff is different from feeling it. So you have to first of all see yourself in the space. So that's what happened. When I got the character, I saw myself, and I'd be like, okay, this is the position you're holding, and you have to really, really make it worthwhile. So it gave birth to my own personal research as an actor, what the character is looking for, his quest, what they say about him, what does it say about himself, what is his relationship with every other personality on set. And having to have a whole lot of people that I'm used to on set also, made it work, where we have both the very legend generation and the newbies, coming together. It's like a camaraderie of a whole lot of emotions, and you can tell we're also on set learning from one another. The new tapping into the old tapping into the new. So that's it for me, basically.
Fantastic answer. Yeah. And you've actually given me the next set of questions that I want to ask Mr. Femi over here. You touched on one thing, how even being on the set, how the setup makes you even a better actor, and you touch on the fact that it's even the story is one of the things that attracts you. Now, if I come back to you, I want to talk about your directorial balance, as it were. You wear multiple hats. You're an actor yourself. You are a producer. You are a director. How do you balance that creative expression with the business realities of producing such a large-scale production, where you're having to wear all these multiple hats at the same time, come out of character, I tell people, do it this way, still produce, how do you do that and still give us a Nollywood blockbuster like Seven Doors?
Well, I think that was a little bit challenging for me on the set of Seven Doors, because Seven Doors, like I said, was my directorial debut. And of course, all my productions, I don't usually have one director, because I feel that, like Gabriel said, it must be a teamwork for you to get it right, okay? And sometimes when I have my picture, my directors, they get it clear, but I still don't feel satisfied. And the director has, the very, very big power to like say, okay, let's interpret it this way. So sometimes I want to ensure the picture I have is what was actually, produced and put up in the outside world there. So, reason I started directing. All right, and when you look at my team, I usually have 3 directors. So, and in a normal film setup, we have the director of photography, and it most times has the final say on what the direction of the technical aspect should go. We have the dialogue director, we have the technical director, we have the artistic director. All these components are what I bring together, and in general we say they are the directors. All right, and so because I have that on the set of 7 Doors, it was easy for me to interpret my roles because I know everybody knows what they ought to do. Most times I don't go to where the dialogue director says this. I only listen as the producer to ensure that the dialogue, is actually what I picture for each scene. The dialogue director takes charge of that. The director of photography, we've had series of meetings. We have a storyboard before we went on set. We are on the same page already. Right. For the art director, that comes under the costuming, the makeup, the art designs comes under the art director. So we've had series of meetings. We have pitch decks which they brought. Some approved, some not approved. So all these jobs were done before we got on set. The planning was top notch. And I ensure that for all my productions because I know I'm going to be doing more of acting than even directing. So the directing part, the correction side, I've done most before we got on set. And now, you cannot rule out the fact that when you get on set, creativity might make you want to change 1 or 2 things. And that is why it must be flexible. As a director and the producer, it makes it very, very flexible for you to take such decision. And that is the weapon that I think I don't want to lose. As the producer, I get on set, mere looking at a house can give me another picture and I'll change it entirely. Right. So, and that is why I've been able to, handle both producing and directing at the same time.
So what I'm getting from you is definitely a high level of planning, a high level of intentionality.
Absolutely.
Because you understand those different roles and how important they are in working together. So it's not just about having talent or having money. It's also about making sure that you have an airtight plan so that even if you want to change things, it can happen easily.
Yeah.
Now, I want to come back to Gabriel. Very quickly, this is a very short question. I want to just know, you've worked with many directors, but what was unique about working and collaborating with Femi, especially knowing that your director is also your co-actor?
Yeah, well, the fundamental of that is because we're family friends first. We have a long history, we're on the job, outside the job, so we've been together for I don't know how many decades. Now, even before we were born, the family has been united.
Wow.
So that gave a background to the workflow. And Yoruba would say, "Isin wo ikorowo, ingotabajo fuju, gigun lo magun." Meaning, you look at it, I look at it. Whatever we both decide will make the job even a whole lot better than what one person would have conceived in their mind. So I come in between that space of professionalism and friendship. Being able to, like he said, is always good when you're flexible, taking part in any type of production. Your mind has to be very flexible. You can't be rigid in your mindset. Because there's a popular saying that the script is not the Bible. Meaning there are fundamentals that can still change, even if you feel this, it should go a certain way. So having a complex mindset would always make you have issues on set. Because at a time when tides needs to flow and move, and you'll be the only one rigid. And you know what they say, it's a moving train. They will leave you behind, though. When everybody says, we need to change this thing, and you insist that you don't want to, then you'll be the one who will now be at that rickshaw. Do you understand? So for me, it's a free flow of professionalism and friendship, and he's a big brother for years. So we're able to put in our creative effort, put it on the table, debate over it, see who's more right, and see who has, because anytime I'm in an argument with anybody, I look for the percentage. No matter how much, I know there's a rare case, but if we have a whole lot more percentage affecting then that's what we're going to stick with. Even if you have the most potent decision, because they say, so if a collage of people have agreed to say this is the direction we want to go, hey, hands down or hands up, we follow that trend. So that's it for me.
All right, thank you so much for that. Please put your hands together for this wonderful panel. Okay, so now we've kind of done like a nice premise, we felt it out a bit. I want to ask you a direct question that is in line with why we're here. Defining a blockbuster. In your view, what makes a Nollywood project a blockbuster in today's competitive market? Is it the story? Is it the budget? Is it the star power, the faces? Is it the marketing? Is it the platform it ends up in? What is it? What's that? How do we define what a Nollywood blockbuster is? And to just touch on that, there's a second question I wanted to ask about Nollywood fans connecting strongly with that authenticity of the story, if that in itself is the starting point, but everything else that comes after. What defines a Nollywood blockbuster for you, Mr. Adebayo?
Okay, thank you. I would want to start from what Gabriel said, and that is what makes a story fantastic. Okay, I should say storytelling, one, for me. What makes a blockbuster story is the story itself. Or a blockbuster film is the story itself, right? So Gabriel mentioned that for you to have a good film, there must at least be elements of at least a minimum of 3 stories combined together and linked together. From there, you have been able to captivate the audience. They are either interested in a particular story or another story. So there's no way you are not carrying at least somebody along. All right? And when you look at all my films, you will realize that I have a combination of nothing less than 4 stories in one. And that is why it's always easy for me when I say there's a sequel. I'm touching, multiple stories. So making a blockbuster film in Nollywood, you must have a combination of stories in one. That is it. Secondly, it is not really about budgeting, but it's about interpretation.
So you think you can achieve a blockbuster film with on a I don't say small, but on a minimal budget?
Exactly what I'm saying. What is minimum budget? What is high budget? What is medium budget? It's relative, right? For me, I can say, okay, minimum budget is 80 million. Yeah, and for somebody else, might say that is a very high budget. And for somebody else, you can say that is no budget at all. It does not stop that film from being a blockbuster. What is important is how is the story that you have come up with, which is fantastic. That is number one. How did you interpret it? How is it executed? So when you read my script and you say, oh, I can give this script a 5 over 10, I can tell you by the time I'm done filming, you will give it a 8 over 10. Because my interpretation is totally different from my script.
Can I just ask very quickly, just because you're talking about the script, how long should we spend on scripts? Because sometimes it feels as if you're seeing the final results and it looks, the production quality is good, everything is, but you're just like, where is the story? How did this leave somebody's, like, how did we get from the script to here? How much time should we spend on scripts, developing our characters, giving them backstories, giving them depth? How long?
You can't actually have a particular time to be told. Like, I write my story till the date I release my film.
Wow.
When I'm on location, I have something else that comes up to my mind and I think it's going to be fantastic, I include in the story. When I'm at post-production and I see something that is fantastic, I put in my script. Gabriel is part of my next movie that is coming up. Yeah. In few days. In few days in December.
What's the name, please? Can tell us.
You get to know soon.
Please now, so that we can say you heard it here first at AFRIFF.
Right. And I just called him yesterday and said to him, we are post already, rounding up post. And I just called him yesterday, guy, I'll need you at the studio to do this. That means I'm still writing my script. So for me, it's not over until it is out for the people to watch. And of course, I started the script from somewhere, So from my idea, I have a team, we discuss it. Another external team, we discuss it. They go right, first draft, come back, we sit down, second draft. So sometimes, okay, for example, 7 Doors scripting took me almost 8 months.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, took me 8 months. And when we got on set, in fact, I must sincerely say that Okpa's role taken by Gabriel was the most tasking and most difficult for me in that script, because we were trying to infuse something that would be a check on the king, the Oba, because the king has so much power. But we also believe that even if you have power, you must be checked. So it took me a long time before we infused Gabriel's character in the film, and it was a very strong one on the film eventually. So you can never tell. That is why storytelling, the story, is the first thing you consider when you want to make a blockbuster. All right? Then the second one is the interpretation. I must be sincere with you. Part of interpretation comes the costuming. Hardly would you see any of my film that you would not see a special costume. People are used to seeing us wear what we're wearing, I don't want people to see the usuals in my film. I don't want it. I don't like it. It's not new. I don't want the usuals. So, goes to costuming. I don't want the usual set. There must be at least something different, something unique about, even if it is one set in my film. Those are the things I consider when making a blockbuster. You have to move away from the usuals. Now, it is now left to you to be accepted globally if you are moving away will resonate with people or you get it wrong. That is the risk. But if you are making a blockbuster, you have to move away from the usuals. So I make different costumes, unique sets, And when you talk about cast, of course, not about movie stars, blah, blah. It's an extremely contributive factor when you're talking about the business part of filmmaking. When you're talking about the business part of filmmaking, you have to consider what face can push your movie. But by the time you are a made producer, Femi Adebayo's films are nice. Then you can move away from that. So if I'm coming up with a film and the entire faces are new faces, what is important is that the film must make sense. Because I have a brand already. So for me, those are the things you should consider before making a blockbuster. And don't sometimes a blockbuster might not actually, give that financial benefit that the executive producer is expecting. But it must be able to satisfy the audience. That's it.
Definitely.
Yes,
yes,
and in addition, audience are the decider if a movie is going to be a blockbuster or not. They are the end game to everything. That's why you have to make careful choices when you're making it. And like he said, it starts from the root, which is the story. Then from there, you can build your brand. Once the brand is solid, you can now start making other choices that are supposedly risky.
Yes.
Or not. Because, hey, when Yoruba say, no, me, I feel Ishenla, Lowonla. Do you understand? Because if there's an aim behind you saying, oh, I want to make this, then that means there's a first emotion you already have. I'm going for the big stuff. You can't spend a lot of money on a story that is weak and you expect people to say, because it looks glossy, there's costume, and where is the content? Where is the substance? You understand? Where is that? So that's why the core of anything blockbuster would still be the story type and how it's being told from whatever point of view, from whatever production point of view, and all that. Yeah.
But to follow, I piggyback off Mr. Femi's answer there, but I want to ask you what advice would you give to young actors looking to perform at blockbuster level in Nollywood? Because
the aim is to always be on your A game all the time, regardless if it's blockbuster or not. Blockbuster is just a space where we do big stuff. But what's going to be your catalog? Because if you hear that they are paying one actor big money for anything, it's not because of that job, it's because of those days where the stack up of what he has done. They never backing down, type of spirit. When you go there, you're not even being paid so much, but you're still giving your best all the time. The idea is to give your best all the time. Leave blockbuster for one side first. You understand? What's your catalog like? If you hear the kind of amount they're paying the likes of Denzel and all those people, it's not because they are at a top now. No, it's because of those days of nothing. So passion has to come to play all the time. One scene, two scene, half scene, whatever scene. The idea is don't take it. But since you've chosen to take that role and you've decided to leave your house, you shower, you get in your car if you don't have, or you jump bus, or if you say, okay, I'm coming, then come correct. There's no point being on set and you start feeling some type of way, or you think the role is not good enough, or no, the role is already good enough because you've said yes to it. So I'll say it's not so much about the blockbuster, because how do you even get cast in the blockbuster if not all these ones that you've been doing that you think nobody is seeing? Trust me, we don't need to act a fool. The whole world is watching. No matter what you do, no matter what you do. I've seen stealers. People coming in to say, and they be like the best in that scene, just It might be the demeanor or how he gets to say that particular line, and all eyes will just be on that person. So don't joke with prayers too. So your effort can be, crowned. Because this game, trust me, there's even some people in primary school that are still coming in to join us.
The year from born are still coming.
They are still coming in. Because we are in an industry where there's really no measure of getting in like that. You can literally close shop in the evening, and if you have opportunity to go, you will go, and they will still give you a chance to act. So that's why sometimes they be like, acting. Is it not? Is it not? See, it's a serious work, but we're in there's this magic with it that you almost think like you're a professional, and at the same time it looks like it's the job for peasants. So how do you make it in an industry that is giving two vibes of you either make it to the top or you don't even make it at all? That's where you have to put in work and at the same time make sure prayers. Yeah. So in the blockbuster, I think it's going to be the effect of what you've been able to do over time. That's what's going to give you that leverage to now be on blockbuster. It's very rare to give a relatively unknown face a chance on a blockbuster, except if it's the family of the producer. And he must have had some formal training, maybe fresh from acting school, and he hasn't had that major opportunity and like that. But you must have some level of experience to be able to handle anything within a blockbuster space. Even if you're an extra, you must coordinate. You understand? You have to organize. So if they are saying you should go right, you go in a certain proportion that suits the lens. So you don't do things outside the lens. Because sometimes the natural eye can give a very wonderful performance. You're doing it well, but the lens can't contain you. So you still have to find that rhythm, and it comes with experience. You can't get it anywhere. Because sometimes you just get on set for the first time, you do a lot of things that are impressive, but when you see the playback, you feel some type of way, and you be like, but they said I did it well. and you be like, so that's why I said experience matters, with handling anything within blockbuster space. Yeah, thank you.
Let me quickly add, I think you should stick to the first thing Gabriel said, that the catalog of what you've done before can make an upcoming actor be part of a blockbuster.
Yes.
That is just the simple answer. Forget the fact that except the producer is your family, or the sentiments, for somebody like me, the sentiment doesn't work.
Right.
It doesn't work, and it can't work.
Right.
If you can't fit in a particular role for me, even if you're my son, my daughter, it doesn't work. And I think this will, also be translated to those of us who decided to either date a director, befriend a producer, to think you're going to get roles. If I were the producer, please. Exactly, yeah. It's intentionally, shaking. I shook the table intentionally. Yeah. So it's better you rely on what you have done or what you can do.
Yeah,
that's
100%. Please put your hands together for them. They are dropping some wise wisdom nuggets here. And before I go to my last, we know you're playing what? I say semi-last card for you now, check up. So I have 2 questions for you before I now go to the audience to get some more questions. The last question is really about industry growth. From your perspective, what 7 Doors represents for the evolution of Nollywood storytelling, especially in terms of production quality and thematic ambition? But before you answer that, just because we're talking about what makes a Nollywood blockbuster, we're talking about acting, I'm just curious, how do you decompress after a role? Like you've been, like someone like him that played Okpana that had to go to a very, very deep, dark place. How does Gabriel Afolayan decompress? What do you do to get out of character? What does Femi Adebayo do to decompress? I'm curious.
Okay. Because you love what you do, there's always a breather, at some point, because it's still your body you're using to play all these characters now. So when the body needs to calibrate or goes to rest, for me, now sleep. Man, yeah, I just go to bed because we grow in our sleep. That's why you can look at yourself in the mirror the previous day, there's no gray hair, and all of a sudden you woke up next morning and there's gray hair. So that in itself shows that there's a certain level of calibration, that goes into the system from top to bottom, from your brain to other nerves in your system. So sometimes if you've been hysterical a day before, just because you just had a normal good sleep, you wake up refreshed. That's why even in a psychiatric home, they are always looking forward to making sure the mad people sleep. So for me, that's how I get this off my system. I just go to bed.
I like that. And I say this because, there's a mental component to it. Yesterday, Auntie Mildred was talking about how a lot of actors now have ADHD because they are doing so many different things at the same time. So I just thought it was important for, Nollywood icons like you to share that I actually need to take time for myself to break away from the character and be myself once more. So I want to know what you do as well, sir.
Well, mine is just lapse of time. It's lapse of time. When I get into a character and I want to get out of that character, it just takes me time to, get out of it. And especially coming to the realization of the fact that that is not the real me. So the lapse of time, for example, my role in Dragon, for example, that was an extremely wicked character,
Very wicked.
And to get out of that role takes me time, especially because he has a mannerism where
so you say you were wicked. After that, you were still wicked until it left your body.
Yeah, no. Well, so spending the time I'm playing that role, most times, especially when we are on set, I don't want to get out of that character while we are filming. So while we are filming, even if I'm not on set, sometimes I just intentionally shake the neck. Because I want it to be part of me for that period of time. All right. So after filming, of course, maybe a few, sometimes days out of it, I get out of it, totally. And that's why it's difficult for me to leave a set today and jump on another tomorrow. I don't do it. it's going to give me serious issues. Yeah.
Definitely. I can just imagine you like having a normal conversation with someone, maybe 2 days after you left the Jago, say, I just like, and the person please don't. All right then, so let's talk about that. Let's wrap up with industry growth, because at the end of the day, that's all this church that we're doing is so that the industry can grow. And you've set a standard. The panel session before this, I think it was Paul that was talking about not having enough success stories, the kind of productions that international platforms can look at and say, okay, we're coming to Nigeria to collaborate. I believe that Seven Doors is one of those success stories. It's definitely done something for the culture. So what does Seven Doors represent for you in the evolution of Nollywood storytelling in terms of production quality and thematic ambition?
Okay, thank you. So, well, there's a maxim that says res ipsa loquitur. That means the fact speaks for itself. All right. So the fact is that Seven Doors has done greatly, and in a way elevated Nigerian culture, and that basis, one way or the other, it shows there is growth from where we're coming from. All right? So, looking at Seven Doors with growth of Nollywood especially, I think a movie like Seven Doors has done greatly. And when we have likes movie, it will obviously grow Nollywood sector more than we can even imagine. All right? So, for me, I would say yes, there's growth. But we're still extremely far from where we're going to. And ask me why and how. It is basically the feedback. They come back to the producers, they come back to the actors. And there are so many things that is really affecting this growth, this particular growth. Which one is maybe the Nigerian policies. All right, so there was a time, it was in the air, Prime Video is no more in Nigeria, Netflix is no more in Nigeria. All these things would obviously affect the growth of Nollywood. Okay, so when I'm producing a movie and I want to go, like, I want this to be a Hollywood standard. As a business person, I have to also think, where am I taking it to? How am I going to get my money back? Will there be return on investment? Do you understand what I'm saying? So, but if we continue to have issues with policies that is going to affect streaming platforms, then it will automatically affect the growth of Nollywood. Actors like Gabriel, Femi Adebayo, we should actually be billionaires now.
100%.
But we're still struggling. We're still struggling.
It's relative.
Struggle is relative.
I started with full hair. See.
All right. So what we're saying in essence is Nollywood is growing. Yeah. Obviously, we can tell that, and that's why I started with that magazine. The fact has spoken for itself. We're growing, but we're still extremely far from that. And the hindrances are what I have mentioned. The Nigerian policies. They come back to producers and actors. Major hindrances from the growth of Nollywood, which I think at some point we would actually get there.
I believe so too. What about you, Gabriel, as we wrap up?
Oh, yes. For me, I think it's good to aspire, but then we have to look at our immediate audience. I think we can cater to ourselves a whole lot more. The yearn for Hollywood being the standard is not a problem, but then when you do that too much, you leave yourself behind. There's us for us. And I think we should focus more because there's a billion whatever dollar industry we have here in Africa. Trust me. Believe that. Because once we get to that certain height that we feel we want to be, there will still be another height again. If we look like Hollywood today, trust me, some set of people would still come and feel like we are still not where we're supposed to be. Growth is gradual. And trust me, it wasn't like this 10 years ago. It wasn't like this 20 years ago. Even 2 years ago, it was not like this. Meaning there's a shift year in, year out. It might not be so obvious for those that are yearning for the bigger stuff, but trust me, we are moving. And it's a game that is unending. This is a game where there's no retirement stage where you literally grow old and feel weak and you don't want to be part of it anymore. So it's your choice. Because there's still role for any age at any certain time. So meaning we will do our own and people coming also will take it from us and push it to the next level. Because I'm not going to say we're trying our best. Believe me, we are. But to say we can do better, yes, we can. But to say this is not about bashing the game. We can't bash this industry. It has done a lot in a lot of people's lives till date. You know? So like I said, it's a game of chance. Some will hit it to the top. Some will hit it to the middle. And some will never leave the ground floor. It's not a curse. It's the order of things. That's why you have to look introspect to yourself. As an element in the industry, the position you're playing, how can you up your own game? It's a personal. The of it is still very, very personal. That's why you can't look at other people's success to judge your own. Ask yourself, what am I doing wrong? What else do I need to do? Don't be jealous. Be inspired. Do you get? Always be inspired. As far as I'm concerned, the policies also can help. But if the policy is not coming in yet, what do we do? That's why I said you have to look inward. Because collectively, the success might not be huge, but people are pulling weight on their own. He's one of the biggest brand in the game as we speak. But it didn't start with him doing blockbusters now. At all. It's a journey, and I'm talking 80s to 90s to early 2000s till now. Till now. So it's never going to be that easy to just aspire to be like Hollywood. Hollywood is Hollywood. Leave them. Let them be Hollywooding themselves. We also have an industry here that we can actually grow. Let's look at ourselves. Cater to our immediate audience. Because you see this echoing of a big industry, it starts with the audience that you are feeding. Because it's going to be each one tell one. Because if the industry is good, it's the audience that is going to actually promote the industry. If you're giving them the right thing. Because if you want to please the Western world, bet it, you cannot please them. Never. Never. No matter how upscale your job is here in Africa, they still don't see it. They don't. It's almost Oscar. Almost Oscar. Almost all the time is almost, and almost does not count for nothing. So I'll say we should look more to, our own audience and get things going. Like I said, growth is gradual, but trust me, there is growth. Is this not 14th edition or how many?
14th, yes.
If it was not a good platform to be, it would not survive this long now. It won't. And if it's so hard to do, or if it's so hard to put together, we won't be here 14th year down the line. Any picking with a bond that year, don't turn 14 now. It's almost a teenager. So that's why I said, let's look at ourselves first. Your immediate mirror, the one standing looking at me right now. I'm not looking at a white man. No, I don't want that for myself right now. It's too much headache. It's too much trying to please. Because that's what we keep doing all the time. We want to please the Western world. We can have upscale production here that is going to get, and they will not be like, what are they doing down there? Oh, more. Like I said, there's a big industry. So it's always good when they find us themselves rather than trying to please them because of their standard. They created their own standard now. And you know what's funny? Even in the 80s and early 90s, nobody was watching Hollywood in this part of the world. We'll either watch Indian film or Chinese film. Because even they themselves at the time, they weren't making as dope films that like they are making now. So it took them time as well. So why not just keep at our own pace? Let's keep moving. Let's keep pushing. Some will get it wrong today, we get it right tomorrow. Like that. Before you know, we say done old, we leave baiting for some then one woman are doing our own too. It's like you cannot do everything. Trust me, we won't be here to see all the success that Nollywood is going to make. Never. It's a phase, it's an era. We'll do our own, we'll leave it behind. The thing is, in your time, do the best you can. That's all I'll say. Thank you.
I love that. I love that. And I think that's a good place to end the panel conversation. But let's take questions. And because of time, I think we're going to just do 3 questions. We already have our first 2. So we need 1 more, and that's it. All right, then we have our final question. Let's go. So your name and your question, please.
Hi, my name is Dolly Wanduba. Uncle Femi, you don't remember me, but when I first got back to Nigeria, after my first movie flopped, I was depressed. And then one of my friends invited me to a production, a Delicious production. And when I got there, I was very sad. I was just sitting down. And I saw you. I was like, oh, my God. Every other person was like doing... And I greeted you. And the way you answered me, it lifted my spirit. And I said to myself then, when I become like him, I want to be humble like him so that if anybody is going through a bad day, I can actually make them feel better. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
This was 2017. So thank you very much. And I watch your movies religiously. I'm a huge fan. Even when I don't know what they are saying, I watch it.
And we have to add you to our WhatsApp group then.
7 Doors, I binge watched the day it came out. Like, ask Uncle Femi, Femi Branch. He knows. So I have 2 questions. One for Uncle Gabriel, one for you. You as an actor, because originally I was supposed to be just an actor. I wasn't supposed to be a producer. I started producing because my first film, like I said, was a total flop. And then I realized if you have to do anything well, do it yourself, right? So, and I needed to keep working. So thankfully, God has been faithful. I've been getting family and friends by fire by force to invest in me. And they've been doing it. So, as an actor, I want to be a good actor. If I cannot be great like you, I don't want to act at all. Because anything worth doing is worth doing well, right? And you're one actor who every job I watch, you somehow always, you just keep going higher and higher, which is not usually the case for most actors. Most times when I watch actors, their first film is usually their best, right? But you keep going. How do you do it? You said something before. You said you feel the character. Do you feel every character you play?
The ones I've chosen to do, I feel them.
Okay, now, another thing. You said something. You said keep working. Uncle Femi said keep working. Build your
catalog.
So how is it that you've been very fortunate to get all the characters that you feel in order to build your catalog? Or how do you do it?
It's personal because it's my choice. There had been roles that I've been called to do that I wasn't feeling, then I said no to. That's why I said it's a personal journey. What you want for yourself. They can easily give you anything. Your choice is to say, okay, I'm taking this or not. But if you've said yes to it, and they've given you maybe upfront or full, whatever, even if they haven't even given anything, but you've said yes to it, that means you love it already.
Okay, so we all know where we are. Let's not even cap.
Yes.
Right? I'm a producer. I work a lot, but I still beg for work.
Right.
Right? So sometimes they say just be working, just be shooting anything. And then if you say no, they will say, look at this idiot that is begging me for work. And now I'm giving you work, you don't want to do it because you're not feeling the character.
It's a battle. I've said it. See, you win some, you lose some.
So
don't
it's
always,
still okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's day in, day out. Do you think I don't have my own bad day? Me, I don't fight before. Yes, I'm telling you, producer don't dump me for hotel before. Even with me having this so much name. Do you understand? He didn't pay me and he left me in that hotel. Because we don't come out to tell all the side of the story. So you people don't think we've had it easy all year round. No, we haven't at all. That's why I said it's not a collective thing. It's personal. Whatever you want for yourself is what you're going to get on. Do you get my point?
Yeah.
That's why I said they can give you stuff. If you like it, see, you have to work based on the environment that you find yourself. If this environment requires you to be an actor producer, then wear the cape. Wear it. There's nobody stopping you to say you can't be an actor and also a producer. No. It's still your personal choice. Nobody they give you a role, then give yourself one. You know, there have been people that they've had stereotypical roles all year round, and nobody was ready to see them in any other role. Do you understand? Even the audience crave for that particular thing they do all the time. So how do you now make an impression to say, okay, I can do other things? Then you start with your job. You push yourself to make that imprint. If nobody is going to, willing to give you another chance to be something else in their film, then you create that stuff yourself. That's what I think.
Thank you
Let me
so
quickly
much.
add to that. You see, one of the secrets of success that I know is passion. All right? Are you passionate about what you're doing to make you successful? If you are passionate about the thing you're doing, obviously you're getting close to success. Because the passion you have for it won't even make you think of the benefits that is coming from it. So in essence, if you don't feel a particular role, don't think because you're an upcoming, you want to kill yourself because of that role. You will not even be able to deliver. You will not be passionate about that particular role. But once you're passionate about it, forget everything that comes with it. If you like, get to location, maybe they don't give you food or money, it no matter. The food and money will come later. Do you understand? That's the training we had. When we started, we were only passionate about it. Probably because that's what our parents do, our father do. You know, but the passion drove us before it now became, food on our table. All right? So personally, I'd never wanted to be an actor. Yes, acting was a hobby for me.
We're happy you changed your mind, though.
Yeah.
Honestly.
But I went to school to study law. I'm a lawyer. I was called to the Nigerian bar. I have a master's in law. I got admission for a PhD in law. But that is to tell you that this acting that is bringing food to my table was just born out of passion. So if you're passionate about the role, I think you will do good in it, and it's going to form part of the catalog that you present being part of a blockbuster.
Thank you so much. So my next question now.
I love.
I have one for him. Please,
You've
this is the
asked
most
like
important.
25
No,
questions.
it's just what I asked. So, Uncle Femi, you said something about being the director, producer. It helps you when you're playing a lead role, right? One of the struggles I've had as a producer and an actor, initially when I was doing smaller films with low budget and all, it was easy for me because the money wasn't so much, so I can sleep at night. But now that I'm trying to scale, it's become a struggle. I'll give you an instance. Last year, I made my first cinema film. It's coming out next year. And I almost died. It was hell. Because one, I had a lot of powerhouses in it because, of course, I'm trying to get people's money back. So, I don't know. I tried everything I could. I did like almost 4 months of pre-production. I did literally everything I learned from film school. And the things I learned from my, how many years in Nollywood, right? Still, the people problem was my major problem. Even actors that I thought were my friends. In fact, those ones frustrated me the most. So, I have this friend who's like a mentor. She said something to me. She was like, Dolly, at this point, since you're going higher, I think you need to give up one. Either stop producing or stop acting, right? So what I did was, I said, okay, if I have to do a big project, I'll just look for the smallest, tiniest role and give myself, which I don't think is fair to myself too, right? So when you said something about directing and producing, my mind just clicked. I'm like, okay, so is it easier when you direct and produce to play the lead? Because then when you say something, your word is like law and said, right? So nobody will argue it.
So
is it easier that way? Or should I just give up one and stick to one?
Okay, Gabriel once said something that we move with the environment in which we have found ourselves. Internationally, that is not the position. Internationally, most times you cannot see the producer be the lead actor, no. But this is our own setting. All right. I started producing in 2008. And I did not even think of directing, not until I wanted to produce 7 Doors. So I left it. Do you understand? So it is what you want. That was when I felt I was ripe enough to get on that seat of directing. Since 2008, I was leaving it for directors. So my advice for you is, it is better you stick to what you know how to do better and what you'd be happy to do. If it is acting, leave the directing part. Until you are ripe enough and you think you have a brand and you also want to, of course, be able to say this as a director, just like me. I waited.
Experience,
Right.
strength.
You gather it before you decide.
You must find those two things.
Yeah.
Your
Thank
experience and your strength.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Second question.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Ifoma Ojuku. I'm a producer and I'm EP from California. I'm Igbo. I want to thank you, Mr. Femi and Mr. Gabriel. I'm so honored to be here, honestly. I've done 3 movies. She said 1. I've done 3 good movies that flopped. I won't say they flopped. I learned from them. It's a hard way. Big money. So I would thank God today that one of my movie is actually streaming today. So it's a very big honor, and it's like I was shedding tears when I saw nominee. I'm like, no, I don't care about winning. I care about just getting to the platform and showing myself. And I thank you when you mentioned that you combine Igbo and Yoruba. I'm an Igbo girl, and the name of my movie is Eleda Ayomo. So people were wondering, why are you doing Yoruba movie? I believe I want to create that part like unity, where culture meet culture. So I'm going to cut off some questions because my colleagues have done a lot, and I've heard a lot. But there's one thing I want to ask and kind of contribute. Yesterday I was at the film section with Bimbo. I just went there to see what's happening. I shed tears because I saw a lot of creative minds. I saw younger ones coming up, and I told myself, how are we going to get there? And for the table that you shook, I had the experience in this one, this my movie that's showing. Okay, let me call that. Okay.
That one, we'll discuss that one off camera.
No cast down, no cast down, no cast down.
No good cast. So let me put it this way. Is it okay to say that in this industry, so because I was producing then from California, but I get somebody here to get some cuts. So I realized that on set, half of the set is from particular, like, how do I say this without saying it? Okay, let's get to it. I saw the cast were particularly from particular person that was doing some things going wrong. And with my eyes, I was seeing that the people I chose myself, because I see them, I look at people, I look at faces. But for me, I think my mission in this industry is to get newer generation that are coming, because I know by the grace of God, I'm aging gracefully and I'm fading out. So, but the newer generation, these younger ones that are like the Nigerians, we have people. So are you people planning on getting something like a backstage where these people will come and showcase their talent instead of showing their faces, where they will come and, bring out their creative voices, join the moving ones, and we can make them with the older people, bring out what they have, because we have a lot of youths that are with that in passion to act.
Okay, so if I get your question, you're talking about recognizing that we have younger talent in the country.
Thank you. And creating a platform, something like a
that
backstage.
We can bridge the gap between the older generation and the younger
between them
generation.
and the directors, so that they'll start doing the right thing instead of going through selling faces, beautiful faces. They will sell creative mind and their intellectual abilities, because when they go through directors, they mess them up and give them one thing. You come to a set and realize that na director babe fool this land.
So who wants to take that?
For every good establishment, there's also malpractices.
Thank you.
It's a global phenomenon. It's not peculiar to Nollywood. I think a problem like this is what now gives birth to innovations. And there's an app called One Take Actors by Nii Akimolayo.
One
Take Actors. So that platform is for any aspiring actors to do a monologue, put it on it. There's a One Take producer as well, where producers generally will download that app and check out all those thousands of monologues and pick from there. So because of problem like this that you've mentioned is why that kind of app was created, so that there can be fairness to things. Like I said, it's a big industry. Some will be passionate and they will make it. And some will put a whole lot of effort and it will still not turn out well. And that's why I said it's personal. everything is, no matter how worried you are for other people's problems, trust me, everybody will carry in load by himself. So we can only do little or more, but the effect of it will still be, on a personal level. At least Ni had done something to alleviate that. Let's see if other people can also come up with an efficient system that can make people get fairness based on their talent. So I think that's where we are right now.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're
One last question.
Please, ma, please. So because you can actually ask once the panel is over, just because of time. Thank you so much. We have one last question, and because of our two ladies in blue, I'm going to do it like church testimony. If you pass 1 minute, we'll collect the mic from you.
Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Dami Dawson, and the question is for Mr. Femi and Mr. Gabriel. Now, one thing I noticed in your films, Mr. Femi, is you've been able to balance commercial viability and artistic depth in your films. Now, it's a difficult thing in Nollywood today because they're hit films and they're great films. Now, as a filmmaker, how do you balance commercial viability and artistic depth and ensuring that the film still comes out good? Because, we sort of just, it's a thin line, How do you do that as a filmmaker, especially in a space saturated like Nollywood? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think I actually answered that question when I was explaining, all right? So what I consider most, is the interpretation of a story that I have, all right? So, and that's, dictates the kind of cast that I'm going to have on that project, right? So, if I feel, based on the works that I've seen Gabriel do, the catalogs of his works, I think Gabriel is the best person that can interpret the Okpa role that I have in Seven Doors. Okay. So my next question is going to be, what is the commercial value of Gabriel Afolayan? Right. So sometimes the best interpreter does not meet up the commercial value of a particular role. So I wait. So if that person does not meet up the commercial value, but is still the best that can play the role, I'll go to the next role and ensure that I cover up that commercial aspect. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'll give that role to the best interpreter without that commercial value. I'll give you an example. The role I gave Esusu in Seven Doors, right? Esusu is a no face, but because I'm trying to balance between commercial and the artistic, delivery of my project, I've auditioned him and I realized he would give me what I actually want as a Susu, but then he didn't have that commercial value. So I tried balancing it up with other actors like Gabriel and those that you saw in the film. So that is the way I do it. I balance it up. All right? And I divide these generations into three: the older generations, we the middle, and the Gen Zs. Let me call them Gen Zs. All right? I ensure that I feed each generation with a particular character. So one thing must make you watch my movie. So that's the way I balance it up. Okay? That's for me. Or like Gabriel is always saying, it's personal. It might not be like that for other producers, but I ensure that a lot. If I need to have older generations in my film, I'll go for the likes of my father. They still have their fans. I'll go for the likes of Baba Wande. They still have their fans. And if I have to come lower, I still have to go and look, okay, for commerciality. But if that person that is commercially viable cannot fit in that role, I'll look for another person that can, fit a particular role different from that one and give me that commercial value. I switch it. That's what I do to balance it.
And in addition, for all actors, work your way to being viable. That's a secret to the business. When you give your best all the time, then you become commercially viable. Because you also want your names to be on the table where good stuff is going on, where they can guarantee that apart from your artistic strength, you're also you know, you also. So that's what I'll say. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. I think that was our last question. And I just want to do, please put your hands together for the panelists. It's been quite enlightening. And now, it's 4:33 now. I want us to end at 4:35. I want to just give, you know, my panelists here just 1 minute to kind of surmise your thoughts. We've spoken about so many different things. If there's anything that's still weighing heavy in your heart that you want to talk about in relation to a blockbuster focus, I want to give you 1 minute each to do so, and I'm actually going to time you. So let's go. What do you want to say?
Okay, before that round of applause came in, I just wanted to put a hint on, you know, being commercially viable. Talent is different from being creative. You can be talented and not creative. So if you're able to marry both, then you will now stand a chance to be commercially viable, even as an artistic, you know, as you can get. So please, like I said, this race is personal. I will never stop saying that. Don't look at any other person. You can get your inspiration from people, but your waka gas be your own waka. Business requires making loss. In short, that's the first step of being a business person. You can't go into a game and think of profit. No, that's in your imagination. You don't know what is going to you, the outcome of things and stuff and all that. But first of all, go into it making your loss. That's the first thing. Because there will never be anybody that will tell you that their first movie is as huge as this, as that, and all that. Every success you get to hear of is probably some 15, 20 years down the line. When people get to act at age 50-something, they're having their breakthrough at age 50-something. And you'll be like, are they just getting started? No. They've been in the game since their early 20s. But see when God answered their prayer. So you can't rule your first emotion all the time. You have to be very patient. Very, very. So you're doing this business, you must do it in line with, you know, being calm. Else, more. Thank you.
All right then, Mr.
All right, so
Ibrahim.
I'm just going to come in from where you started, which is patience. All right, look at me. If I actually want to remember, I started acting from 1986.
Wow.
Yeah.
Some people in this room were not even born yet.
Right. From 1986.
And I started 1990.
You can say he started 1990. I started from 86.
Wow.
So you cannot want to achieve this kind of success in 2 years. Sometimes it doesn't work. And that's why I said you must be passionate about what you're doing. So when you get things from it, you are good. If you don't, you're still good.
Yeah, you're still okay.
So I'm going to recap what the topic is saying. Making a blockbuster. We have mentioned, think about the storyline. That's the first thing. Is key. Think about the storyline and ensure at least you have combination of stories to make one. Okay? Then 2, think about the interpretation of that story that you have. The interpretation takes us to the costuming, the makeup, the art designs and all. All right? Then the third one, we now talk about the business part of it. Is it commercially viable? Most times, blockbusters, like Gabriel said, is determined by the audience. I know my audience. I know what can intrigue them. So I'll ensure I infuse that in my film. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Right on time. There you go. There you go. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. There was something just to, I guess, put a bow on the gift of wisdom that you've given to us today. There was just something that he said about being personal. And there's a quote from Mastrona Dilabio that my mom would always say to me. And she would say, don't strive to be better than others. Strive to be better than the man you were yesterday. And if you do that, 20 years down the line, you will see the progress that you've made. And I think that's a good place to end it. Please, a round of applause for our panelists, Mr. Femi Adebayo and, of course, Gabriel Afolayan. Please keep clapping. Clap, 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 clap. It's not easy. If it's easy, run out.
Thank you very much, esteemed panelists. We'll take a moment for pictures, please. We'll be going on a short break, just for 10 minutes. Our next panelists are around. We have a fireside chat with David Oyelowo, hosted by Jennifer Okafor Iwuchukwu. That would happen in the next 10 minutes, so we can just move around a bit and then come back for the last panel session of the day. Thank you very much.